teasing you, and then you responded like a dick.
Well, you were being a dick.
No, you were being a dick.
You're the dick.
When we're recording...
It's your job to be the dick.
It's whatever is funny. So, but you're not...
I think you're overreacting.
I think that's my point.
No,
my point overreacted to me just saying...
I didn't overreact.
I said, I think you did it wrong.
I said I just moved it. I wasn't trying to do it right or wrong. And then you said, you don't have to be a dick about it.
Right.
No, you're being the dick.
So the guy who calls someone a dick is the dick? So no one can ever be a dick, because only if you call someone a dick, then you're a dick.
No, when you're being a dick about it, yes.
Okay.
All I said was I moved the microphone. There's no right or wrong about moving the microphone.
You hit mute.
Yeah. There's not right or wrong that got bumped while I was moving the microphone.
No, you set it down opposite. You like this. See, now that we're recording, you can't hear me very well, can you? Because this is how you had it. But Siri, I turned this around, now you can hear me.
Again, I was just moving the microphone. There was no setting it up. I was just getting it over where it needs to be.
Yeah, whatever.
See, you're being a dick.
No, you were the dick.
Alright, I guess we get to talk about this stupid fucking movie now.
Is that why we're in a bad mood?
One of the worst parts of this show is... For me, I don't know about the rest of the people that are listening, but for me, one of the worst parts of the show is going to see a movie you know you're not going to like, and then having to spend another hour of your life, 2 hours for me, because I end up having to edit the show as well, talking about it and then editing it.
I think that you decided ahead of time you weren't going to like it. I tried to be open to maybe...
Yeah.
I was trying to enjoy... the girls.
I was trying to as well, but I couldn't because it was bad.
Because, oh, man, I can't remember names. It was the girl from...
Kate McKinnon?
No, she's from SNL, but she was in the movie, the hot one. From 70s show.
You mean Mila Kunis?
Mila Kunis.
I don't know if it's hashtag...
She's beautiful.
I don't know if it's hashtag Me Too to describe women as the hot one anymore.
Whatever. Out of the two of us, you would be the most hot one.
Yeah, but I'm also male, so it's okay to objectify men.
It should never be okay. If I was with a bunch of disabled people...
You still wouldn't be the hot one. Those words would never come out of my mouth.
Let's say if I was the only one not in a wheelchair. Then I might be the hot one. He's hot because he can walk.
At least he can walk. I mean, I guess we're grading on a curve. It's like the bell curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I had to go really far to get anywhere close to being hot. That's sad. Yeah.
For you, maybe.
I get. Well, who else would it be sad for?
I am left unchanged by it.
Okay. All right.
So we were going to talk about MoviePass first.
Oh, we are?
Well, I thought so.
We're going to complain about MoviePass? Is that what you mean?
MoviePass, man. I've been a MoviePass user for... I think I've had MoviePass for 4 or 5 years now. I can't remember the date. I think it's 4 years. And when I first signed up for MoviePass, for those of you that don't know, if you don't know, because I, strangely enough, talked to someone today that had never heard of MoviePass. She was like, yeah, well, she had heard of it. She'd just gotten it, but she'd never heard of it before. Even after this whole past year or two of like them doing the low-cost subscription and everything, she'd just now heard about it. And she didn't even understand how it worked. We're standing in line to see this movie. What was it called again? The Spy Who Dumped Me. And she didn't even know she needed to download the app, sign in. She didn't know any of that stuff. She's like truly this is the first time she's ever using her MoviePass.
I heard you tell her that it didn't matter because it wasn't working anyway. Or maybe that's how I would have put it.
I did say to her, use it while you can. Like, I'm sorry you just paid for that, but that's probably not going to last. I mean, I'll... Anyway, so MoviePass is the subscription you can sign up for, almost like Netflix, but for theaters. It's a subscription. You can go see a movie any day. You're going to keep moving the microphone while I'm talking? You can go see a movie once a day for $10 a month. So if you're doing the math, you could go see 7 movies that week for $10. Instead of paying like $10 every time you see a movie, you pay $10 one time to MoviePass. However, the past... so that's great. They used to be like $30, $35 a month. And I signed up when it was $35 a month because I see enough movies to still make that worthwhile. I'll probably spend $50, $60, $70 to see movies a month. And when I found out I could do that for $35, I was like, great. But then when they dropped the prices down to $10 to get a surge of subscribers, that was really what sealed their fate 3 years ago.
It should have been an introductory price, but it wasn't.
So what happened is their subscribers surged to like somewhere around 3 million subscribers. They say they have 3 million subscribers, and I guess the plan was that people would get their MoviePass, use it, and then forget about it and not go to see as many movies. However, MoviePass did what they said they were going to do, and they got more people to go to the theaters. They actually got more people to go to theaters because, hey, a MoviePass is like a free movie. If the deal sounds too good to be true to you, it's because it is.
It just needs to... It costs too much to go to a movie. If they want more people to go to the movies, they need to work out how it shouldn't cost an arm and a leg to where you can only afford to go to one a month for most people. I don't know how you go so often.
Well, I use my MoviePass.
Before
until
that,
recently.
Are you rich? God.
No, I'm not rich. It was my one thing I do. Like some people, video games or whatever. I don't do any of that. I just go to movies. However, but people didn't do that. They kept using their MoviePass, and it killed MoviePass's like bank account. Like they ran out of money. It took them a couple of years, but they finally ran out of money because it was costing like something like $20 million a month to be MoviePass. A subscription service that was costing them money because the people that subscribed were using the service. So it's not like you can say, hey, use the service, give them a boost. But really, anytime you used the service, you were actually depleting their abilities, because it was dwindling more and more down. So in
there's so many things they could have done. They could have made like the first 2 weeks of movies out, you can get half off. But then after it's been out 2 weeks, then you can go see it free, something like that.
Yeah.
And have an introductory price of $10, maybe raise it to $20 or $25, like the AMC thing is out now. There's so many ways they could have, made money advertising in the app.
They were trying to do that sort of thing. However, early on, sometime in the last year or two, they went to AMC and said, hey, AMC, we want to show you the numbers for your 10 busiest movie theaters in the world, or in the country. I think it was in the country. And show you how many people are using MoviePasses at your theater. And AMC was like, okay. And MoviePass said, well, how about splitting the box office with us? Or concessions or something, because we've got so many people in your theater because of MoviePasses. And AMC told them to go fuck themselves, because AMC's like, look, like people are coming to it's the 10 busiest theaters in the country for a reason. Like these people are going to come to this movie theater no matter what. And then MoviePass said, well, okay, so we're going to take our little football and go home. MoviePass subscribers can't come to your movie theater anymore and use it. Like, they can't use their MoviePass at AMC. And guess what? Nothing happened, because the movie theater is crowded and busy, and people are like, oh, I can't use my MoviePass there? Okay, I'm still going to go there.
Yeah, most people, it's, It was like what happened to us the past couple times. We went out to movie and MoviePass didn't work. We're like, well, we're already out. And we're already excited about going to a movie. We're not just going to go all the way back home. Is there, okay, I'll pay for one anyway. You know, they're going to pay for it even if it doesn't work.
So their plan on how they were going to bring in extra money didn't work. They weren't able to work out special deals with people, like the MoviePass deal, where if you use your MoviePass, you get a popcorn or something. You know, they weren't able to get any of that because, number one, AMC didn't like them from the start. They said, this is a terrible idea. We don't like this. And they were saying, well, how is MoviePass even going to make money? So AMC didn't want to play with them. And other theater chains didn't really want to jump on the bandwagon either because they feel kind of the same. They didn't want MoviePass to... MoviePass is pretty arrogant and cocky about it. Look at all these people using your thing. How about splitting the money with us? And everybody's like, no, we were doing fine before you came. We'll be doing fine long after you're gone because this isn't going to last for long. So I guess maybe at the beginning of summer, it was like May or June is what I remember, they were like getting down to where they had no money. And their stock price about a year ago was $38 a share. It dropped into the 20s. It dropped into the teens. Then it dropped to $10 or $11 a share. And now today, right as we're recording this, it's Sunday afternoon, it dropped down all the way down to 7 cents a share.
By the way...
So, I mean, they went from being almost $40 to buy one share is now you can go buy $40 of MoviePass stock and have something like, what is it, like 600 shares of the thing because it's just so cheap.
Yeah, it's
I might be wrong on the math.
It's weird to me. I feel like 10, 15 years ago, we weren't, we know everything about everything nowadays.
Right.
I think like 15, 20 years ago, even though we had the beginnings of the internet, we still didn't know it. Like, you talked to the guy in line, they had just gotten a MoviePass, and he told you, yeah, I saw they're down to 7 cents a share. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I could go look if I wanted, but how are people...
Yeah, what he told me is that the MoviePass at the time of this recording only had $500,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
All the way down from their almost...
How do we know all this? You know?
The internet, man.
But I'm just... We get alerts sent to our phone that say, hey, guess what? You know,
it's MoviePass... I mean, not MoviePass. It's information overload.
Yeah,
and,
I guess that's what I'm saying.
You can't get away from some things.
Why do we know so much?
Some things you want to know. Like, you want to know whatever. Let's just pick. You want to hear the most recent stupid thing that Donald Trump did. I liked it better when we
were surprised by everything.
You like being blissfully ignorant. What are you, living in the Matrix? You want to go back to eating the steak because you like how it tastes? Welcome to the real world, Brad, where there's information.
I just like to be surprised or something. I don't know.
You like to be surprised. You are the only person I know who's fine sneaking into the last 10 minutes of a movie and seeing how it ends.
If I already
before
know
you've seen
I'm
the
not
rest of
gonna
it.
See it, yes.
Anyway, so we talked about it. We've been debating. It's almost like because you and I go to movies a lot because we see movies a lot for the show, and plus we go see movies a lot. We've been talking for like 2 weeks. Hey, when are we going to cancel our MoviePass?
Well, apparently it's today.
And I have been saying, look, man, I'm just going to ride this bitch till the wheels fall off and see what happens. But
you've had to pay for your last 3 movies.
So what happens is, what's the point? So MoviePass has blocked movies that are on 1,000 screens or more. Movies like Mission Impossible, or the movie we're talking about today is The Spy Who Dumped Me. That movie wasn't even showing up in MoviePass's app because it's not an available film you can use the card on. Every time I've gone, so we couldn't do the weekend we tried to see Mission Impossible. We tried to use our card, but the whole system was down because MoviePass had run out of money in their bank account. So they borrowed $5 million from this thing and agreed to pay back $6.5 million by the next week, and that was this week. So I don't think it was by August 5th. So by today of the recording of the show, which is Sunday, August 5th, we had to they had to get all of the money returned, the $5 million plus the $1.5 million that they borrowed. And as far as I can tell, where are they going to get that money from? Who's going to loan them more money so they can pay back the one loan? They already can't. You know what I mean?
They're just going to keep losing it.
So they boosted their price to $15 a month, which would be fine. I would be fine paying $15 a month for my MoviePass if I knew my MoviePass was going to work when I went to the movies. But the last 4 times I've gone and tried to use my MoviePass, it has not worked. Mission Impossible didn't work. I tried to see Blind Spotting. We tried to see Blind Spotting on our MoviePass. It didn't work. We tried to see... were we able to use our MoviePass to see Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot? He can't run.
The one I called, he can't run.
He can't run. So we did get... So that's the...
It worked for He Can't Run.
Right, and I tried to use it for... to see...
8th grade?
8th grade didn't work. So... It's not... First of all, I'm fine paying $10 a month. I'm fine paying $15 a month.
I'm fine paying $20 for the AMC.
But if I can't use it when I'm going to the movie theater, why am I paying $15 a month to use something that doesn't work?
I'm canceling mine.
It's annoying. I want to be loyal to MoviePass because they've helped me see hundreds of movies at this point. You know, I've had it for like 4 years. I've seen at least a movie a week, if not multiple movies in 1 week on my MoviePass for 3-4 years now. Like, that's so many movies, right? And I'm trying to be supportive, but now it's $15 a month, and you can't see new movies, and you can't see certain other movies, blah blah blah. And it's like, I'm not one of these people that's gonna wait 2 or 3 weeks to go see Mission Impossible because we do the podcast, but also I want to see a movie when it comes out. I don't want to wait. I've already waited.
I feel like this is going to be like 20 years from now. This is going to be your... Well, back in my day, we could just get a card for $10 a month and see any movie we wanted.
No, back in my day,
nowadays, you just download it to your brain. That's ridiculous.
No, back in my day, we had to actually, pay for movies with cash. So, like, today I was thinking we went to see this movie, and of course, the MoviePass didn't work. And I remember thinking... And I remember saying to you, we're actually complaining about having to pay for a movie because the subscription service we have doesn't work for the first time in, 3 not the first time, but it's not working now. Like, I haven't had to pay for a movie in years. So I'm like, guys, I had to buy the ticket to this movie.
And they're saying, okay, so what?
So what? Yeah, but I'm spoiled by MoviePass.
Yeah. So I feel like this first part of the show is a waste of time for everyone listening because they're like, so what? We weren't using it.
Well, the thing is, AMC, one of the theories is that AMC didn't like MoviePass because they wanted to do a subscription service of their own specifically for AMC theaters. Yeah. We don't know if that's true or if they said, hey, that thing that they're doing that's not working, we think we can do it better for our specific theater. So the AMC thing is, so MoviePass, you could never see a 3D movie or an IMAX movie, which is okay because I very rarely want to see a 3D movie. But every now and then I do want to see IMAX. I bet you Mission Impossible would look great in IMAX. The screen's just so huge, and him hanging off that helicopter and that thing is probably like, Vertigo. You know what I mean?
He's dangling inside the theater.
Yeah. So, but AMC is doing this thing where it's $20 a month, right? And you can see 3 movies a week. You
could cram it all in one day.
You can actually see all 3 in one day if you want to. Which is my
favorite thing because when we go out, I'd like to see 2 sometimes.
Multiple movies, yeah. So, but you can also see 3D movies and IMAX movies on the AMC thing, and by spending money in the app, you're actually, the way their AMC Stubs things work, it works like you're getting points back towards your AMC Stubs card, so you get discounts on your thing and everything. Anyway, AMC is doing it, and they're doing it pretty well.
Yeah.
So it is twice the amount of money per month, but still, if you go see 3 movies a week, you're still getting, what's that? If a movie costs,
you get a free movie.
Where we live in Orlando, movie tickets are anywhere from $10 to $12. In LA, they're like $14, $15.
Sometimes the special movies are like $14.
Right, like IMAX or whatever.
3D,
So let's just say it's $10 a ticket, which is less than what they really are, but just for the math. So if we went to 3 movies a week, which we could do, get one free movie that week, the first week, but after that, every movie you see after that.
Yeah, they're cool with that though because we're buying concessions.
Concessions, yeah.
That's honestly that's always been their business model is make money off concessions. They don't really profit off the ticket sales.
Right. So that leads us to the movie review we want to do on. The movie review we don't want to do on The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Well, you're way more, you're such a, okay, we're friends, right? But your film snobbery is annoying to me sometimes.
I'm not even being a snob about it. I just I don't like that kind of movie. It's
not as bad as you're making it like you were tortured.
No,
because we've seen other movies that have been.
I was nowhere near being tortured in this.
It was just maybe I don't know.
It's worse than mediocre.
Is it 2.5 stars? Like it's not a 3.
It's 2. For me, it's a 2-star movie. A movie like Valerian is 1 star.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Yeah. So this is 2. For me, even though I don't really believe in this star rating thing very much, I don't put much weight into it for me.
Yeah, well, 3 means wasn't good, great, wasn't terrible. It's just okay.
Average. Like Solo was a 3-star movie. The Han Solo movie was 3 stars for me.
Oh well,
not bad. Not it wasn't terrible. It wasn't even bad. It's good, but it's not. It didn't blow me away.
Yeah, this. Well, I don't know. It wasn't. There was a lot of it that I wasn't laughing, and you're supposed to be laughing.
Brad, it's a comedy, and I chuckled twice.
Well, because you decided you were going to hate it before it started.
I could tell from the Brad. Do I not? I'm going to tell you. Do I not have a good track record at being able to look at the trailer and go, "I'm not going to like that."
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at least I liked a good movie like. What's the one? The silent movie.
The wheelchair movie was like a 3-star movie.
No. The silent movie, Quiet Place. At least I liked that movie like everybody else did. You're the one that didn't like that. You walked out on that movie. That's snobbery. I've never walked out on a movie. The
premise is just stupid.
Okay.
The movie is fine. The premise is stupid.
Okay, so The Spy Who Dumped Me. I don't even know.
You're going to have to put a sound effect in that blank spot.
Like the Jeopardy theme song.
With the crickets.
Spy Who Dumped Me is if you can remember the Melissa McCarthy movie called I, Spy.
That was bad.
This is that movie.
This is a little bit better than that.
This is that movie. The exact story, some haphazardly unaware individual ends up doing spy stuff.
Yeah, by the way, that's annoying.
And it's not funny.
That's annoying. Because this might be a spoiler if you really care, but you don't. Okay? At the end, there's the post-credit scene after the credits roll where they're, like, being agents. That pissed me off. I was okay. I wasn't as tortured as you, because I think I was staring at Mila Kunis the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit in love with her, so maybe that's why I don't hate it as much. That dress at the end. I would have paid. I would have paid to see that. So that was. I'm
gonna have to cut all this pervy shit out, right?
No, I like her. She had a nice dress. Yeah. I didn't go anywhere beyond that.
So
okay. So I'm just trying to emphasize that that was what pissed me off, and you're right about this whole there's too many movies where average guy has a friend or someone they knew who's a spy, and all of a sudden they get caught up and they actually are good at it. We're done with those.
We're done with those. Hold on, I just realized something. Is this one of those times where I hate a movie and you don't, and by the end of the review,
you know,
I'm going to have you talked into not liking it?
If there's one thing I could be peer pressured into, that's into nitpicking everything that's wrong with the movie.
3, challenge accepted. 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, so at the very beginning of this movie, you see Mila Kunis playing a video game where she's got to shoot, like the Ducks game.
That was stupid.
So now
that was the only thing in that place. It wasn't like a Dave and Buster's where there's a bunch and
Right, but so later in the movie when she's running around with a gun, that's why she's a good shot.
That's the only reason why they put that one
she's
thing
a natural.
in there?
That's the reason she's a natural. Okay.
Do we need a reason? I guess I don't know. Whatever.
We don't need a reason. I don't need a reason at all. I'd rather no reason than the fucking video game to be the reason.
Because that's not accurate.
It's not accurate in any way.
You cannot. Doesn't work.
Oh, I'm good at laser tag, so that means I can be an assassin.
No.
So, it's...
Gun is a completely different thing.
I sensed zero chemistry between these two girls who were supposed to be best friends.
Oh, also... Why is Kate
now you're coming up with your own reasons you don't like it. I just have to say.
I was sitting there in the theater thinking, Kate McKinnon is funny on SNL. When she does those characters, she's the best part a lot of times on SNL.
She's the one that makes people crack the most.
I'm laughing at her skits. Yeah. But when I see her in a movie, it's like she's saying things and has a smirk on her face, and I feel like, shouldn't I be laughing? But I'm not. She's not funny in movies.
Here's the thing.
Why?
I think in movies, I think when you see her in a movie, she's saying things and it's like she knows she's funny. She thinks she's being funny.
That's the look she has on her face.
So it's the almost the smoke. And she dud. She dud. She dud? It's a dud. So anytime I laughed in this movie, it was because of her. Anytime I chuckled or laughed a little bit, it was because of something she said. But a couple of those things were stuff that was already in the trailer. Like when the guy's dead in the street and she runs out, oh no, what happened? And she knows that's a funny scenario, but it didn't make me laugh out loud. The acting it's not even so much the acting, but you could tell right away that this movie was trying to be a hard R because of language and unnecessary gore. It didn't have to be a rated R movie. You know me, I'm not judgy on that either way.
What's rated R?
This movie we saw today.
How was it rated R? There wasn't anything.
A bunch of F-bombs.
There was a guy's balls hanging into the frame,
rated R right there.
Which greatly offended me.
Hold on, spoiler alert.
You don't know when or where or whose they are. How is that a spoiler? Spoiler, there'll be balls at some point. Well, I can't watch it now. He spoiled the balls. You have to tell people that because they bring their daughters to movies. Oh wait, that's what you did.
That's what I did, right? My 15-year-old daughter looked at me and like, what?
I was covering my eyes. And then after you saw me cover my eyes, then you thought maybe I should cover my daughter's eyes. But it was too late. And then at the end, after the credits, they showed it again.
Did they?
Yeah, when the credits are rolling, they had animated, remember when this happened in the movie? Remember, they had animated balls during the credits. I'm like, no!
The funniest part of the movie was your reaction to that, not that itself.
At least they were shaved. It would have been worse if it was a glob of hair plopping down.
Anyway, so was
that a spoiler that they were shaved?
Yeah, spoiler alert. They're short. The balls in the movie. It's actually a shorn scrotum.
A shorn? What's a shorn?
You don't remember? Hold on. You don't remember Austin Powers? Dr. Evil is. There really is nothing quite like a shorn scrotum.
No.
You have to watch Austin Powers again, which wouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's The Spy Who Shagged Me, which is a way better movie than this one.
Right. So the forced friendship between these two is just, and I think Kate McKinnon is brilliant, especially on Saturday Night Live. She is so funny, and she can literally do anything. She can use accent. She's very physical. She can pretty much do anything she wants to be funny. But it's like she's doing her thing. Mila Kunis is doing her thing. They're not really gelling together.
Yeah.
They have things that they say to each other that make them friends, but just because the dialogue they share between the two of them, but not because you can tell that they're friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they don't like each other. It's just like the chemistry between the two of them, they don't click. If you think about there's another movie, Midnight Run. This is the movie that popped into my head with Robert. I almost said Robert Downey Jr., but Robert De Niro. And
was it M? Martin?
No, what's that guy's name?
Is it the melancholy whiny guy?
Yeah.
Grodin?
Charles Grodin. Right. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to be talking about Midnight Run.
Why do I remember? When I'm trying to remember someone's name, I can't. But when you can't remember, then I can. Why?
You still can't most of the time, but that time you did.
I knew.
Anyway, so Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, those are two actors in that movie that had chemistry together. They worked well. Their comedic timing was good on their own, but also together. This movie, it didn't have that. It was forced. The whole thing felt forced. And I also just don't like how suddenly she's got a boyfriend that she met a year ago, and at the very beginning of the movie he's dumped her by text, which is the least cool way to dump anybody these days. But suddenly, because he left her, she's now sucked into the plot to the CIA spy plot of she's now, people are coming after her because they think that she knows something or he left something behind. So that's suddenly she's got things exploding and they're running around, and Kate McKinnon's character just comes along because, well, we're friends, I gotta come along. Instantly they end up in Austria.
Where did they get the money for the trip?
That's exactly what I was saying.
Everywhere.
And by the way, they're wearing the same thing when they left as they did when they arrived. The trip overseas like that is I don't know how long it takes to fly from where were they? Were they in LA? I think they were in LA. From LA to Germany or Austria or wherever. I don't know how long that takes, but you're going to change clothes at some point. You don't just go from, hey, we got to go to Austria, to sitting at a restaurant in Austria and you're wearing the same thing. It's 2 or 3 days have gone by.
Yeah, it happened. They just glossed over it. They showed them in the airport. By the way, I don't think that throwing your phones on the ground and smashing them right in front of where you get scanned to go in the security checkpoint, I don't think that's the best place to smash your phone angrily. I feel like they would have said, ma'am, will you please come with me, I just okay. It's another one of those things that would not happen in real life. You wouldn't smash your phone in real life. You might throw it away, but you wouldn't put both of your, like you just said, you would not put both of your phones down on the ground, jump up and down and stomp on them repeatedly in line at TSA. You just wouldn't do it. They're going to pull you out of line.
And then you just accidentally stumble into this. You accidentally stumble into the next thing. You accidentally stumble into the next thing. And it just turns out that you're, like I said before, haphazardly good at things.
Yeah, accidentally slamming on the brakes to cause the guy on the bike to run into your car, and then so they accidentally killed everyone or made everyone crash that was following them. Yeah, and
that's all just comedy action. I act like comedy action movie, and I actually am fine with some of that stuff, the situational stuff, but I don't like. They did it in this movie again, where the writers call attention to the ridiculous things they're having them do. Where Mila Kunis runs out and it's in the trailer. She's like, "I just killed someone! I just killed someone!" And Kate McKinnon says, "Why do you keep screaming it?" While they're running, they're not running fast. They're running. They're looking like they're running fast, but it's they're pretending to run so that they can get the shot. It's it doesn't seem. It didn't feel real. It did. I don't know, it's a comedy. It's not supposed to feel real, but it didn't feel like truly funny in that moment. It seemed like this will be funny if we scream funny things.
If we're making faces.
Yeah. If we're making faces, this will be funny. And actually, I want a girl spy movie to come out. You know what I mean? I want to like it. I want to like this stuff because I like the idea of female-driven storylines. The problem with this movie is that it's not very good. But it is original. It's an original story. It's not like they turned Midnight Run, like we were talking before, and turned it into they gender bend it and turned it into two girls and doing Midnight Run, or like Ocean's 8 a couple months ago, which wasn't a bad movie. It just, they took a 20-year-old storyline, or maybe a 10 or 15-year-old storyline that's been beaten to death in the last few years, and then just, hey, we're going to do girls now, and it's going to be the same exact movie just with women in it. They didn't do that for this movie. It didn't work for me. It's not funny. Some of the... I don't even think any of the action... Like, there was one point where you actually hollered out loud in the theater because somebody got dropped on their head, and it was like this big loud crunching sound.
Oh, yeah. I said that was a great sound effect.
And that was a great sound effect. And everybody in our row looked at you and said, could you shut up, please? Because you were talking really... That was a great sound effect! It's like, stop yelling in the theater. Stop yelling it! I think...
I thought that the... Go ahead. You say you're drinking now.
Go ahead.
Well, that was the one part I was gonna say in the movie's defense. I thought the action was pretty decent.
A lot of it is just shots of things that are cut really close together. There wasn't any... Like, we just saw a really good action movie. So part of my problem is we just saw Mission Impossible that was really well done. And this was just like... Shot of the guy crunching the face, shot of the gun going off, shot of this, and it was like a lot of stuff happening all at the same time, but no, like... 1, 2, 3 happens. It's like just chaos, and then the scene is over, and they're running outside yelling at each other.
Well, the one guy did kill a whole room full of people.
Yeah.
Well, and Mila killed one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But a whole room of people jumped up and started fighting, and they all killed each other. Why were they fighting? There's no explanation of who those people were, why they were there.
Yeah, that was dumb. Like, everyone in the room
and then,
are bad? How did they do that?
So all of the well-trained spies get out of there. But the two main characters, the nincompoops, they're fine. They're hiding behind a suitcase that has nothing in it, and bullets are bouncing off of it.
Well, it was metal. Was plausible, but I want to say was not plausible. Which one thing I did like about the movie is the guy, wherever they were, in some kind of abandoned building or something, they started shooting, and he ran and jumped onto a bed. What do you call it?
Oh, I was just about to say this.
And he pulls it over him. And so many movies have it where people hide behind couches or hide behind the bed, and every time I'm like, that's not even going to stop a bullet for anything. The bullet's going to go right through, but they successfully hide behind couches and bed frames. At least in this movie, the bullet went right through the bed and into his shoulder. I was like, yes, finally.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Is that how he got shot?
He got shot.
Because I thought, I was sitting there rolling my eyes because he's hiding behind a mattress and it stopped the bullet.
Yeah, I started to, but I noticed a hole went in it and hit him in the shoulder. So I was like, okay, good.
I also thought that this movie crossed the line in one spot for me. I know in action movies people die and all this stuff. There's one scene, and I don't want to do a spoiler section on this movie.
I was just thinking about if we could just... Because there's one spoiler thing I want to... Maybe I'll just say, okay, this is the spoiler part.
Okay, so we'll save these two things, your item and my item, for spoiler. We'll have a very short spoiler section after this.
Okay.
I just think there's nothing unique or original in this movie. It is the same idiots get sucked into a spy plot.
That's a fish out of water story, right?
Yeah, it's the same... Yeah, it is. Fish out of water. It's the same idiots get sucked into a spy plot or an action movie, and they don't know what they're doing, but somehow they survive, and they're both equally well suited for these scenarios, and now and can somehow know all the stuff that the super well-trained, brilliant, scientifically trained spies can't figure out.
Oh,
you know, that's not even a spoiler. That's just, this
like
story.
They're able to do things that the spy guy can't do. Yeah.
Right, and that's not even a spoiler because you know this because you've seen it in every other movie that's exactly like this.
Right.
I wanted this to be good. That's why I went to see it, because it had a Rotten Tomatoes score of 38% from the critics and a 79% score for audience members. So I thought either the critics might just be snobby about it. You know what I mean? I get that. That happens a lot with these kind of movies. But is it a crowd pleaser? I don't know. Do you think it's a crowd pleaser movie? Do you think a regular, everyday audience is going to enjoy this movie?
I'm guessing it might be an okay date movie. I don't know.
It's definitely an okay date movie because those movies, it's an easy pill to swallow.
Yeah.
There are some funny parts in it. I know I bashed on it a lot. There are a couple of funny spots in it, and it's almost like an interesting experiment to go and see why. It's spectacularly, but it is mostly spectacularly unfunny to me. I didn't think any of it was funny.
Yeah, I was laughing at things that I think weren't supposed to be funny, but I found them funny. But yeah, there weren't a lot of people laughing, and that's.
I even asked my daughter, who is an average movie audience member. She's not snobby like me. She generally likes things she goes to see. And I asked her, "Did you like this?" And she sort of shrugged her shoulder and said, "Yeah."
Generally, I think that's our review of the movie. It's just it's meh. It's
just,
if there's something else that you want to see that first.
It's just, well, if you have a MoviePass, you have to wait for this for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, but if you like the spy, what was it? The one with
Melissa McCarthy, I Spy.
If you watched that and enjoyed it, you'll probably do the same with this one.
Is it called I Spy?
I think so.
I think so too.
The letter I.
Spy.
Not EYE.
I Spy. No, it's not. I think it might just be called Spy.
By the way, the bumbling idiot spy stuff. Oh. There are good movies like Naked Gun. Mm-hmm. Well, he's not a spy in it, but anything with Nielsen, is that his name? Leslie Nielsen,
yeah.
Those are great movies. If it's got Leslie Nielsen in it.
Yeah, but
Spy Hard wasn't that great, but it was better than this.
The movie with Melissa McCarthy we're talking about is called Spy. It's just called Spy.
Oh, okay.
It just is. This is not my kind of movie. I mean, I disliked it as much as I thought I would.
It was better than Ghostbusters.
I don't know.
That was terrible.
Well, this is something we were talking about just a second ago. We got off track. I want to see female-driven movies, but Ghostbusters is a prime example of how you don't need to gender flip Ghostbusters so that you can now we can make it female because it's already a story that people are familiar with. Make another movie just with all women. Yeah. You don't have to keep cherry picking from like storylines that people already know, just and say, well, now women can be in it.
Yeah. It's possible, although I doubt it. It's possible we could have liked that movie more if it wasn't called Ghostbusters because we're comparing it to Ghostbusters. But it was still bad.
The real problem for me with that Ghostbusters is Ghostbusters, the original movie, was funny. It was situationally funny. Those guys had great, chemistry together. They were funny together. Comedies like that these days don't exist really, because comedies these days have to be jokey. There has to be a joke in it, where you can tell that they left the camera rolling and let the actors say a bunch of wild lines and see what made it into the movie for fun. Like I love Will Ferrell, I do, but some of the movies that they do like that they're just, every scene is a joke with a beginning, middle, and a punchline, and then they're saying funny things repeatedly. But the original Ghostbusters wasn't like that. It was just a PG, it was just an entertaining movie that happened to have some humor in it. That iteration of Ghostbusters was like, how can we fill this with jokes that aren't that ended up not being funny?
I think the difference is the original Ghostbusters had interesting characters.
Yeah.
Each character had his own thing and way of being and the way that they would react. And the new one was just lines that they said.
Yeah.
And the characters weren't... I think all the characters ended up being like one-dimensional jokes. Like, this is a really nerdy, shy person. The end. And this is a...
Flat characters.
Yeah.
One note wonders.
And there was no thought behind the technology, and the ghosts were terrible. Anyway, we're talking about it.
And I didn't think about this until a minute ago when we started talking about it. I hadn't really thought about it. When I first started seeing trailers, like, oh, a girl action movie. That's cool. I like that they are doing that this movie got... But it falls short. And what's going to happen...
Who wrote it? Who directed it? Was it a woman or a man? Can we blame it on the women?
It was directed by a woman named...
So then is it her fault?
I don't want to blame
So let's just say, disclaimer, we want more movies by women. It's just that this one
want more good movies by
movies.
I want good movies, first of all. I want good movies no matter who they're directed by or written by.
We're not saying that it's not bad because women are in it or women wrote it. It's just not that good, that's all.
So it's written by Susan Fogel, who was also the director, and written by David Iserson. David Iserson is a producer on Mr. Robot, Mad Men, Up All Night, The United States of Terror. He's a writer. I don't know what happened here.
I have a question. If you have someone like Kate McKinnon, who, if you aren't aware, they don't just perform, they are writers on the show.
Yeah.
Why don't you have her co-write the story have her make it funny? I feel like if she had freedom to, kind of punch up the script and have her character be hers and do her own thing, it could have been...
I don't know. There's a lot of things that could have made this movie better.
I mean, because
maybe that was one of them.
The classic Jim Carrey movies, they were great because it was Jim Carrey being him doing his thing.
Right. She could very easily be the female Jim Carrey.
Yeah, they need to let her...
Jim Carrey style person. Yeah. But she just is... She's hysterical. She's one of the reasons I watch Saturday Night Live.
So why not if you're going to put her in a movie, give her a voice in the movie. That's what I say.
I don't know. It just seemed like her character was there to be the funny one in the scene, and it didn't really... Her character didn't really have anything to do except be funny in this scene. So, she could literally... Her character could do whatever they needed her to do in that scene, whether it made sense from the last scene or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it didn't make any sense that she could fight someone on a trapeze. But she did.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's one of those things that I put out of my mind because it was so ridiculous. You just reminded me. That was the stupidest part of the movie. But that's a spoiler, I think.
No. There's a fight scene on a trapeze. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, where she's itching. She keeps saying, okay, if we're going to do this, I think I'm going to need to get up there so I can see everyone. Yeah. And they're saying, no, just stay where you are. Yeah. So she finds an excuse. Why? Yeah. To go up on a trapeze because she took a weekend training thing one day and said, I was really good.
I feel like the writers think that they did their job writing that in because she mentioned earlier that she was a trapeze person. Like, she went to some day camp or something like that. And it's like, oh, that seems weird for her to say. But then 2 scenes later, now, there's a trapeze for me to swing on, to swing upon. Anyway.
But also, a bad guy just happens to show up. Like, she gets to the top, and all of a sudden, one of the bad guys is
is also there.
Hello,
Yeah.
I'm at the top. Not only did I know you were here, but I made it up here, and I'm also good at this as well. And we will trapeze fight in the air.
Yeah. Nobody tries to stop it. In fact, by the end of that scene, people are clapping as if it's part of the entertainment.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous. It's dumb. It's just dumb stuff. It's not like every scene is terrible, and it's not like everything is bad. But it's just it was not for me. I didn't want to see it. I mean, I didn't like what I saw. But you got it right. It's a good date movie.
Yeah.
It's a good date movie. Or, hey, take the kids to go see... Well, it's rated R. It is rated R.
There are balls in it. Do not take the kids
to it. There are balls in it. And there's actually frontal peen as well.
Oh, I was covering my eyes.
Yeah, you missed the frontal peen.
I didn't want to see it, and I'm glad I didn't. I don't need to see other people's stuff. Just don't want to.
Well, stay tuned right after this if we haven't talked you out of it yet. Stay tuned right after this if you want some spoiler talk. I have one thing I want to mention, and you have something you want to mention too. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spreaker, and also you can of course still find us in the iTunes store. That's it. If you want to catch up with us, follow us on social media. We are at Movieisms.com. You can find anything you want to find about us there. You can connect with us and all that stuff. And that's it. Got anything else to say?
The end.
Great. And cut. Stay tuned for spoilers. Movieisms is a production of Super Mega Ultra Entertainment and is produced by Michael Beckemeyer and Bradley Kingston. If you'd like to find out more, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And make sure you click like on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/movieisms. If you're enjoying this podcast, please take a moment and give us a 5-star review in iTunes. It only takes a minute, and it helps us out more than you can imagine. Thank you very much, and until next time, we'll see you at the movies. Okay. If you're still listening, we are about to spoil The Spy Who Dumped Me. What was your one thing?
With the thumb.
Yeah.
So I liked that it was practical in the fact that the phone kept shutting off every few seconds.
Yeah.
And had to activate with the thumbprint. Mm-hmm. But if you're that smart, then how come? So she had to cut his thumb off. So she's like, oh, just forget it. I'm going to cut his thumb off.
Yeah.
And first of all, she was very adept at everything else and killed someone and seemed to be okay. But just didn't have a problem at all. Just got a thing and whacked his thumb off, no problem.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense to me. But also, I turned to you and I said, once you unlock it with his thumb, you can just go in settings and reprogram it with your thumbprint.
Yeah.
But
turn the code off.
Put his stinky, rotting thumb into a lip gloss canister and use it to keep opening the phone.
Did you notice how big that lip gloss canister was?
Yeah.
It had to be that big because they don't make them that big, but it had to be that big so you could get the thumb in there.
Thumb.
So also the thumb, you're not going to twist it and have the thumb twist while it spins up like lipstick. It just was. It was another thing that didn't work. It was just didn't work for me. My spoiler thing was where I feel like they crossed a line. There are a lot of people dying in this movie. There are a lot of brutal deaths. The one that bothered me was. They get in the car with like this Uber driver guy, and suddenly he's like, he's funny. They're having a funny conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And then suddenly his head gets blown off in the front seat of the car, and she sits on him and keeps driving the car. It just seems like they didn't need to kill this guy. They didn't need to. My other problem I had was he's driving, and there's a motorcycle or something flies up next to them and shoots them in the side of the head while he's driving. But then when you see him, he's got a hole in the front of his head. Like there's no reason for him to have a gunshot wound in the front of his head.
Yeah,
he got shot in the side of the head.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he didn't look
I don't think he did.
the person before they shot him. Because they shot him mid-sentence.
I just thought it was unnecessary. Like, I think they thought it was supposed to be funny. Like a Pulp Fiction guy getting shot in the face. I shot Marvin in the face, that thing.
It'd be funny if they had to, while the car was driving, had to get control over it, and she's sitting on his dead lap.
Yeah. In the movie, she can't drive a stick shift, but she can drive like a race car driver. She just can't drive a stick shift. She can drive a stiff shift. Anyway, that's it for me. I didn't have any other spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The trapeze thing was so stupid.
The trapeze thing was so dumb. Right. Okay, so the trapeze thing that you were talking about, she lets go of the trapeze thing and falls into the net and springs perfectly back up to the trampoline.
Right.
But instead of and continues to fight this person, instead of just letting go of the trapeze and landing in the net and running away, she's now up here like struggling with this person when she could very easily just get away. If she
was a gymnast, by the way, it should be way better at it than her.
Right.
But okay.
Right. Instead, she kicks her off and she lands on something, that stabs her in the chest.
I do want to say that I was slightly enjoying the movie up until halfway through, and then it was just, I think maybe that's when the stuff with the guy in the car happened, and it just was worse and worse after that. And also, I just want to say I'm tired of the Uber jokes about 5-star ratings. I'm done now. They did it in Equalizer, and even in this movie, after he died, they were running
5-star
away.
Rating for
Definitely 5 stars. What? Okay, God, enough. I've got the joke.
Yeah, and
Hollywood.
you just brutally murdered a completely innocent person. And it wasn't for me. I don't normally get overly sensitive about stuff like that in movies, but something about this just rubbed me the wrong way that they just killed this guy for no reason.
If it was funny,
it would be different. But it just wasn't. It's one of those things where it's like it wasn't funny, and it seemed wrong. But if it was funny,
maybe it was just out of place because it was so realistic. That, okay, you're asking me to believe this crazy stuff, and then you had something realistic happen?
It does this thing, they do this thing in movie. You were talking about people hiding behind couches or mattresses or something. I don't like it when somebody uses a body to deflect a bullet, because bullets go through bodies, like, all the time. Even in movies, when they don't want the bullet to go through the body, it conveniently didn't go through the body. But anytime someone's shot and they need to make it through the rest of the movie, they're like, oh, it went all the way through, you're going to be fine. Not to mention the fact that there's like a giant hole in your leg. Since it went all the way through, you're going to heal up by tomorrow. In fact, you're going to be running full speed in like 5 seconds here when we have to get away.
Yeah.
So when they shot him, the problem is they shot him in the side of the face, and then it shows a shot of the radio screen getting blown out. But Mila Kunis, who's sitting right next to him, doesn't get hit by any of the bullets, which, by the way, she's sitting right next to him, so if the bullet gets him in the head, it should go all the way through and at least scratch her. She should do something. The bullet isn't stuck in his head.
Well, it'd have to go through his bone, his brain, and then his bone again.
Yeah, that was point blank, though. This was point blank range. Okay. And he's got an Uzi. It's not like he was hitting her with a cap gun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just convenient action movie, logic.
I think we're just all used to the good guys not getting shot except for a glancing blow.
I want the good guy to get shot. I want the good guy to have to struggle,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're beating a dead horse.
Here's the other dumb thing. Sorry. You just leave it recording long enough, I'm just going to keep remembering stupid things. This is the other thing that we hated. We complained about where when they got the thumb drive, which, by the way, Nature's Pocket, that was great. Google Nature's Pocket. Does that work? Will they figure out what that means? She hid the...
Enter for JJ.
Yeah, Nature's Pocket.
Yeah.
So, they got it out, and then they went to a library. The spy guy said, they're trying to be safe or whatever. And he couldn't unlock it. And then so Kate McKinnon? She makes a phone call to somebody she knows.
Edward Snowden.
Oh, that's who it was?
Yeah.
And then he's giving her the password.
Somehow he knew how to get the password.
Somehow.
Yeah. That changes once every 24 hours. Somehow he knows the password. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but it was forced. It was like you were saying. They were just giving them something to do, so there's a reason for them to be there.
Yeah.
And, these spies can't do their job, but they can do it.
Yeah. Well, Edward Snowden, it's funny. It could be funny that Edward Snowden helped them, but Edward Snowden being able to help them with the hacking the password over the phone.
It's impossible.
Yeah, there's no way for that to work. But I feel like the writers think they must have done their job because a few scenes before she mentioned that Edward Snowden had a crush on her in high school or something.
They write these scripts in reverse. Like they'll just, first of all, they'll just say, okay, we need them, get them here. We need to get them here. We need to get them. Okay, now they're here. Oh, they need a password. Okay, let's go back and have her mention that she knew Snowden, and Snowden will give them. It's just bad.
Yeah. So,
all right.
I convinced you.
Yeah, but
you had way more bad things to say than nice things to say about
a
movie that you said you liked.
I try to block out shit.
But you don't work the other way around. If you hated a movie and I liked it, I can't convince you to like it. But I can talk you out of liking a movie.
That is true.
It's because deep down inside you know. You know it's bad.
But if I didn't lie to myself, I would see way less movies because I would just be, why to go? Because I'm just gonna be disappointed. Yeah. So I have to lie to myself. Let me sell the lie.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's our spoiler review. Not a spoiler review. That's just our review of The Spy Who Dumped Me. If you saw this movie and liked it,
feel free to
contact us and let me know why.
Yeah.
Like I would like to talk to you about it.
We'll put it on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. See you next time. See you next time.
I usually say peace out.
Yeah.
My peeps.
Yeah. Don't say peeps.
Okay. Why? Okay.
Because you're white.